So it says the two maps below show an island before and after the construction of some tourist facilities. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. So two maps are given of an island and that was to be reported. So let's start. Okay. The map depicts an island before and after some renovation work for tourists and compares the changes on island as a result of construction. Okay. So you have said the map depicts. Is it one map only?
Mm, Like the map is one, like the islands, I guess the map is one.
There are, okay, let's see what the question says. It says the two maps below.
Okay.
Okay, and there are two maps before. One is before the construction was done, the other is after the construction work. So in fact, they are two. Okay. So then
Yes.
what will say here?
Maps depict.
Yes, the maps depict an island before and after some renovation work for tourists and compares will also change.
And compare the changes.
Yes, and compare the changes on.
Islands.
No, island is one. Island is the same. Only the two maps like show the changes, but the island is not like there are not two islands. It's only one. So island is fine, but there is another thing that needs to be done here. We should say the island.
Okay.
An article should be used, a definite article.
Okay.
And why should it be used here?
Because you're talking about some particular island.
Yes, because we have already mentioned it in the first line, an island. Now we are speaking of about it, the same island. So we'll say uh, the. Okay. So on the island as a result of constructions, construction. I think S is not needed here in this word. As a result of construction,
Okay.
and the sentence ends with a full stop, right?
Yes.
If that is a full stop.
It was meant to be full stop.
Was meant to be a full stop, so it should be a full stop. Okay. And what is this?
L and T.
Yes, L and T are written like can't say which is L, which is T. So you should make it clear. Okay, the point is this. Now the sentence reads like this. The maps depict an island before and after some renovation work for tourists and compare the changes on the island as a result of construction. Okay,
Yes.
and this is a good paraphrasing. Introduction is very well written. So we continue with the rest of the report. Before the amenities were established, the island's only features were trees and a beach. Trees and a beach. Okay, and the majority of the areas were deserted. Majority of the areas or the areas or the area singular.
Majority of the area.
Hmm.
But why area?
Because there is the same one island, and the area we are speaking of the whole area of that island. There are not like various areas at different places, or they are not demarcated. So that's why. Did you understand it?
Yes.
I mean, we are speaking of the area of this island, and this island as a whole has that one particular area that we know that is given in the map.
Okay.
So we'll say area. Majority of the area was deserted. Okay,
Yes.
with no tourist facility. Okay, here there are two changes needed. I mean, one change. Uh, Tourist facilities. It should be with no tourist facilities. I mean, tourist should be singular and facilities should be plural.
Okay.
Tourist facilities, or in another way we can say facilities for tourists.
Okay.
Fine. Okay, available. Fine. This question, this sentence is okay. However, after the construction, many new tourist facilities, again the same changes will be brought here. Many new tourist facilities. Here you have written correct facilities, but only this tourists should be tourists.
Okay.
Many new tourist facilities were introduced, including accommodation facility, restaurant, reception center, reception center, reception. Okay, reception center, fine. Um, Fire for boating, swimming facility on the beach, and so on, making it tourist friendly area. Making it a tourist friendly area. Now, tourist friendly be should have a dash. Sorry, hyphen.
Hyphen.
Yeah, hyphen.
Okay.
Tourist friendly. Okay. Uh, Fine. This sentence is okay. There, after the construction, many new tourist facilities were introduced. Accommodation facility, restaurant, reception center, fire for boating, and so on. And so on. So, are there any other that you did not mention?
Yes. Like I didn't mention in this sentence, but it were introduced later on. Like I have written them in later on sentences.
The next sentence.
Um. Yes.
Okay, let me see. Besides, foot footpaths and roads for commuting have been built. Have been built. Now, this now in the previous sentence you have used past tense here, right?
Had been built.
Yes. In this sentence you have said have been, so it should be had been,
Okay.
or rather it should be were built.
Okay.
Were built. Okay. Footpaths and uh, roads for commuting were built to facilitate the tourists. Okay. Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I think this and so on is should not be written here. I mean, in this sentence.
Why?
because there's one reason that you have said including. Here you say including, right?
Mm,
So I think when we say when we mention the a number of things and we use this the word including, um, okay, that might not be the obvious reason, but I think because you are now giving those the other things like footpaths and roads in the next sentence, so and so on, like doesn't make sense here. It is better that we conclude this sentence with mentioning the things that we have mentioned already, like the swimming facility and the things that you have said before, and we then continue with the next sentence, and so on. Seems like there are still some things that the writer is not giving a reference to, and there is no
okay.
like obvious uh, error in this structure, but I am like trying to say that if we remove it from here, it will be better, like some improved version of the sentence will be with us, we will get.
Okay.
Okay, so besides, footpaths and roads for commuting have been were built to facilitate the tourists. The footpaths were made to walk between the place, residing place between residents.
Yes.
Residing place, we should not say, we should say residence or places for accommodation.
Okay.
And the beach, while the motor trek was
Was.
hmm, vehicle trek. Okay. So motor trek or vehicle trek was, right?
Yes.
Was set to visit the restaurant. Okay. Restaurant reception area and fire forward. Set, can we say any other word in place of set?
Were built.
Built you have already used.
I guess.
Hmm.
Yes. Were
Constructed,
constructed. Yes.
manufactured,
Manufactured. Like.
no?
I'm not sure if we can use manufactured.
Yeah,
Like manufactured is used in terms of some product that is made in factories or
okay.
something like that.
Let's check. Let's check. Yeah, you are right. So in place of manufacture, what we can say, I mean, in place of build or construct, we can say create, designed,
Yes, we can say design.
put up. Okay,
Yes.
fine. Um, so we will replace this set with those some of one of those words. Okay, then we continue. It is worth noticing that no plants and trees were cut down to build this infrastructure, and most of the construction was, right,
Yes.
was made near the beach area. Even if we don't say area, that also makes complete sense, near the beach. and even saying it is also fine. So that's okay. To summarize, a deserted island had been converted into a tourist spot. Again, had been, we will say was converted, okay, into a tourist spot for the recreation and amusement of tourists without destroying the natural beauty, without destroying the natural beauty of the place, of the area, of the what else we can say, area, place, or some word like that. Okay, so that it should refer to the natural beauty of that particular place we are speaking about. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this was well done, well written. Now there are some things that you be careful of, particularly in this case, in this today's report that we have discussed. Um, use of verb should be, you should see carefully. Most of the times you will be using past tense in report because the data will be somewhere from the past. So be careful, and if there is something like we discussed earlier, there was some data that was referring to future. If there is such a case, definitely you will be using future tense. So depends on the data, definitely, but then there should be consistency in the form of tense or form of verb that we use. Like were, you wrote were, then you switch to had, like what was it? Has been or have been. So there should be consistency in the verb form in the tenses. That should consistency, I mean, that should definitely relate to the data that you are reporting. If the data speaks of something in the past, there should be past tense. It speaks of something in the present time, it should be present. It speaks of something in the future, the future tense should be used. You, this is not a very big problem to see which tense you are using. Just you have to give like give it a second thought and go again to check whether you are writing it correctly. And as I said earlier, always double check your work, always review it so that you can, if there are some errors, you can correct them. Because these minor errors that we have discussed are uh, can be corrected with slight care. Okay,
Yes.
and otherwise it has been very well organized. If the organization is very well, you have reported all the things that are mentioned in there in the maps. So this is very well done. One more thing I would say, when you start the next paragraph, like you did in the first one here, after first sentence, you left a blank line, then you started another paragraph. I would say to do this for all the paragraphs, for both written tasks, writing tasks. Okay.
Okay.
In the next in the last paragraph, you did not leave a blank line. A blank line should always be left.
Okay.
Because sometimes your sentence, your paragraph might go to up to the like like where the line ends. For example,
Yes.
if you end a paragraph, let's say here, the previous paragraph, and you start next one right from the next line, it will be difficult to recognize where the paragraph starts or ends. So this is always a good idea to leave one blank line between paragraphs. And you will be I think you will have enough number of pages that you can use, so there's no worry about it.